So hello guys, welcome back to my channel again, and today it will be a short discussion, and the discussion will be regarding to our QRH and basically what is QRH, okay, and why we are using QRH. As you know that on Airbus A320 family, they are using, or let's say long haul Airbus A330 and so on, they are using ACA memo page, but in this case it doesn't it is not true that you perform ACAM page and it's okay. You have to know the QRH because the Airbus has QRH as well as Boeing, and you read to let's say non-normal nodes on Airbus A320, but this is out of the way, okay? So we are now at the Boeing, we are holding over the present position. We have for example one failure which is right over here, as you can see, auto brake, okay? But anyway, we will go through the old QRH, and we will a little bit talk about the QRH, and I think, according to my personal point of view, that it's really perfect and quite simple to use. So I am real Boeing 737 captain and instructor, but anyway, I go through all the code of the Boeing, and there was somebody said it was a smaller changes within QRH. Somebody says that it was a bigger changes within QRH, within FCOM, because they were swapping the performance in flight section from flight cooperation number manual number 1 to QRH and put it back and so on, and the memory items looks like completely different, and no reversible action was depicted over there. But today QRH, I will just put to you the QRH from PMDG, which is currently maybe I think the most the most updated QRH in the right now, because if I give you another QRH, for example from classic 300 or 400, I have plenty of QRHs on board, not on board, on my computer, so that means that it leads to some discrepancies, okay? So the first of all, the QRH is you have to know the logic of the QRH, okay? Boeing 737 it's quite a big, has a quite big advantage, that if you are let's say well known of the systems, not deep in systems or basic systems, but well known of the systems, you can easily handle with the problem without the QRH, basically, because it's really simple to do. If you know how it works, for example, electric driven pumps, engine motor driven pumps, and so on, you can make it by your memory, but it is not the proper procedure, because we have the cockpit voice recorders, and if something happens, everything is recorded. So that means that if we do not perform the proper action, the cockpit voice recorder should show you. Then and now you will blame me because you tell, okay, the cockpit voice recorder is recording the voice up to 2 hours, and there is a loop, and and others will be erased. No, it's not true, believe me. People from Boeing can do it from your start of the engines until you shut down. So if CAA want to investigate what's wrong, it will be like this situation. Okay, so let's jump to the QRH. The first page, it's referred to quick action index. What does it mean? You can see that all the letters are there. It's highlighted. It's let's say it's black. Okay, and that means that this quick action index means that these procedures which are on the first page, you should let's say known by the memory, because all of the things are the memory items. Okay, so there are some few exceptions. For example, evacuation, back cover. So you need to know by the memory that the evacuation checklist is on the back cover, and that's it. Okay, so that's why it's depicted right over there. Okay, so and go down, and you can see we have index pages with lights. What does it mean? All these pages are related to the lights. For example, right now we have auto brake inoperative. Okay, so if you watch at the QRH, you can find the auto brake light. Okay, so auto brake disarm light is on page 14-3. So we can go directly to 14-3 and we can solve the situation with the QRH. That's one thing. If we go down, or let's say more down, there is something which is called enunciated index checklist. What does it mean? This checklist contains within the memory items as well the items which are not depicted into some light or into some system failure. For example, the right example is engine fuel leak. Okay, an engine fuel leak doesn't contain any lights or any, or it will not show you that you have system failure. But if you properly fill the operational flight plan, you just realize that you are burning very much fuel according to your operational flight plan. That means that there is something with the fuel. So you will go to Unenunciated checklist, okay, and find the engine fuel leak and go to page 12.4. Okay, so this is the unenunciated checklist. So that means that it's not enunciated. Okay, so for example, window open. Okay, it happens to me when I was in flight training that suddenly during the takeoff, but it was with the slow speed, the engine the window suddenly open. Okay, so I will press the quick action and put the window back into arm position, stowed position, and everything was okay. We do not perform the rejected takeoff, and the captain was very happy and see that okay, my reaction was fine and was okay. So that means that's okay. Then we have the alphabetical index. What does it mean? That all the failures are not related to the lights, but it's related into the alphabetical. So that means that you can see the aft cargo compartment, aft entry, for example, cargo door open lights, and you can see all of the failures which you can solve. For example, if I go to engine fuel leak, you can find it here in dash 12 dash 4. It's alphabetical. You know what does it mean. Okay, so we go down and we can see the normal checklist. The normal checklist is it is the checklist which is offered by Boeing, recommended its checklist. Okay, it's not your company checklist. It's the checklist which is related to Boeing recommended. So if you do not know what is your company checklist, or basically you are flying on VATSIM, you can do this checklist. Okay, because this checklist it's really let's say very well prepared, and it contains all of the parts which are criticals, because the checklist contains the critical parts which should be done, and that's why we have checklist on board. The checklist on board, it's not that you read it just. It's just to check that the critical items are completed. Okay, so and then we'll go down, and then we can see that there is non-normal checklist, and it contains for example Michelinos. So that means that you have, for example, emergency descent, ditching. What is ditching? Okay, so there are this part contains this is the section of 0, so it contains emergency descent, ditching, emergency descent. Okay, and well, that's it. And when we move to another part, for example part section number 1, it contains normal checklist related to emergency airplane general configuration, emergency equipment, doors, windows, and so on. So in our case we have how to break disarm light. Okay, so with auto break disarm light, in real life it's a little bit less complicated, because the checklist contains like a small tickets, and you can see the page number 1, chapter number 1, chapter number 2, chapter number 4, and so on, in order to know. For example, I have well known that chapter number 8 is related to fire, any fire on board. Chapter number 7 is related to the engines. Okay, and so on and so on. Engine number 2 is chapter 2, while the air conditioning system. Okay, so we can go back, and we can do it via 2 ways. Okay, so once again, as I said before, we can do it with a way that we'll go through the alphabetical index. Okay, and or we can go with the light checklist. Okay, so for example, I will pick up the auto break disarm, which is 14.3. Okay, so we will scroll down and go to 14.3. just scroll it down. That's 9, 9, 12, 13, 13. That's not our case. 14 and 14.3. It's our case. That's auto brake disarm lights, and it will clearly state it right here. Auto brake select switch to off position. Okay, on the ground. In flight, just we are on flight, go to step 3. So that means auto brake select switch to off, then reselect. Okay, so we have off, and then we can reselect. Okay, and basically nothing happens just right now. Okay, choose one. Auto brake disarm light states extinguished. That means that these dots basically means that okay, you have auto brake inoperative, and you should brake manually, and you should check the QRH, and I will discuss later on. Okay, sorry, this means that it's okay. If auto brake disarm lights illuminated again, auto brake switch to off. Use the manual brakes for landing. Go to step 5, and with the step 5 you can see descent checklist, approach checklist, and landing checklist, what you can do. Okay, so and now I'm going through the part, because the QRH, one of the part of the QRH is it's so-called performance in-flight section. Okay, and what does it mean, the performance in-flight section? And the performance in-flight section means that if suddenly you lose the engine, for example, and you made to perform the drift down procedure, and we are flying for example at level 250, which is depicted on the cruise page. Okay, so that means that you can check, for example, you need to save the fuel. So go to one engine operative, drift on a long range cruise capability, for example, and now you can see with your gross weight and current weight what is your long range cruise, because long range cruise is not the best distance, but the best endurance, fuel endurance on board. Okay, you can have the bunch of information, for example, go around F1 VREF, and so on. And as I said before, the performance in-flight section, it's divided from your airplane to airplane. So that means that you have to always check which airplane you are flying, and what is depicted over there. So that means that if I have for example one airplane, the performance in-flight section sum, for example number configuration landing distance shouldn't be there, but should be in FCOM volume 1. Okay, and now I am going for example to the last part of the QRH. So if you look at the book and you keep the book in your hand and you put on the back side, there is evacuation checklist. Okay, and evacuation checklist, it's always on the back side, on the in the end of the QRH, in order to know how to properly and rapidly disembark the airplane. Okay, so that was another point of view. There is something depicted with the normal checklist legend, that we have some symbols. Okay, so for example, if we have engine severe damage and separation, we can go with the page, I guess it was 8.3. It is just by my memory. Okay. Oh, let's give me a time. Okay. Engine severe and damage or separation. It's in the first page, which is as I said you before, that there are memory items, and now you can see if you list the engine severe damage or separation, which should be the memory items. So you should, as the pilot, know that how to apply this procedure. Okay, so and you can see the dotted light and this dotted and these dots right on the below side. It means that your memory items are completed. So all you need to know by memory it's completed. Okay, and then we have another problem with the QRH, and there is, for example, I will make it via, for example, generator drive within electrical. It's chapter 6. Okay, and for example, we can put generator drive. Okay, so you have generator drive malfunction. That means there is one symbol that action is not reversible. What does it mean? It means that once you make this action, that means that, for example, this generator is not reversible. That means that disconnect switch on the affected side, and it should be the confirm in between, means that it has to be confirmed with the pilot flying. Okay, hold in disconnect position momentarily. It prevents generator drive to damage. Okay, so that means that you completely disconnect the generator drive, and you can connect it only by maintenance personnel on the ground. So for example, we can make a failure of this generator. Okay, I don't know how to put it into here. No tire balance. Okay, we need something, I don't know what is it working right here. Electrical program generator 1 failure. Okay, now we have generator 1 failure, so we can put autopilot to B, because the electrical system of the Boeing 737 is split into the two parts, as we know, for AC transfer bus 1, AC transfer bus 2. So that means that if you lose the AC transfer bus 1, we have to make need to use the AC transfer bus 2, and so if the autopilot A is engaged into AC transfer bus 1, we can revert into the ACB. Okay, so and now we can read the checklist, and what the checklist says. The checklist says the generator disconnect switch confirmed and hold in disconnect position momentarily. Okay, so what I will do it right now, but okay, we can put another problem here, because I did it wrong. Okay, so we have generator drive right now. So all remember, all the points, or let's say all the switches which are guarded with the red lights should have the plumb over here, because if the plumb ceiling, or let's say the ceiling is broken, you cannot fly without the maintenance action and to check the system is working properly and make another ceiling plumb. So okay, we can put it into the off position, and we have to ask the pilot flying that if we confirm this with action, okay, because it is unreversible action, okay. So that means that, yeah, you put that momentarily switch to off position like now, like says the QRH, and what the QRH says again, it's when APU available for start, APU start. So we'll start the APU, but we will clear this malfunction and put just the generator drive, okay, and we'll wait for the APU for start, and we'll perform the action according to QRH. So we'll see if we are success or we are not success. And there is depicted over the QRH when APU is not available, plant at the nearest suitable airports. That was if you watch my previous videos, you can see where you have to reconsider your self actions and plant as the nearest suitable airport and what is best fit for you. But APU is available. Let's check the quality of the generator, and we put on bus, and that's okay. We can continue to our destination, but I will offer for you, for example, let's imagine in your head that in ACARS page your company says that in destination airport you don't have, for example, the facilities and the maintenance facilities who could serve the destination. So this is for another discussion, and this is for the discussion to open the meal and did the PG if we are able to fly from the destination. Okay, so this is the basic of QRH. I hope you like the video much, and see you next time soon, and have a great day. So thank you very much. Bye.